Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Freakeasy Gaming and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to be telling you guys about the time I was almost robbed by someone with a knife. Now guys, this is my first time telling you guys about an event that has happened to me in the past. So if this video is a little unclear or unorganized, I do apologize for it. It's just that this is my first time telling you guys about an event that has happened to me in the past. And since I really don't know how to begin a video like this, I guess I'm just gonna start by telling you guys the events leading up to the time I was almost robbed by someone with a knife. Now guys, this event takes place about 3 years ago when I was still a senior in high school. And when I was a senior in high school, there was nothing more that I wanted to do than join the Marine Corps, because my older brother had joined the Marine Corps, and I really wanted to follow in his footsteps. Now guys, keep in mind that I did not wind up joining the Marine Corps. My older brother told me not to. He gave me a bunch of reasons why not to. He gave me a bunch of warnings on why not to. So I did not wind up joining the military or the Marine Corps. But at the time this event took place, when I was still a senior in high school, there was nothing more that I wanted to do than join the Marine Corps or the military. And since I wanted to join the military, I would often go over to the recruiting center, and thank God the recruiting center wasn't too far from my home. It was only about a 6 or 7 minute run from my house, so I would often go over there to the recruiting office to talk to the staff sergeants when I got home from school. I would talk to the staff sergeants at the military place, the Marine Corps place, and the Navy place. Now keep in mind this recruiting center is all in one building, but they all kind of have separate offices. So I would run over there pretty often, a few days a week after school, and talk to them about joining the military. So guys, one day after school, I decided to head over there to talk to the staff sergeants over at the recruiting office. So I get off school around 3 p.m., So when I got home that day, I took off my backpack, I relaxed for about 30 minutes, and I started heading over there at about 3:30. But before I headed over there, I locked everything up. I got my running gear on so I could run over there. And while I was locking everything up, when I go running outside anytime for a very long time now, I have always left the gate on the side of my house latched but not unlocked. So I went outside, I unlocked the gate because I have a combination lock on it. So I put the combination in there, I unlocked the lock, and I put it to the side on this little hook where it goes when it's not in use. But I leave the gate latched so somebody can't just push on it. But in order for me to open the gate, all I need to do is stick my hand over and open it. And I always left it open, I always left it latched like that in case of an emergency. And that night, thank God I did leave it open, because if I didn't leave it open, I think I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. I think me leaving that gate latched so I could just reach over and unlock it saved my life that night. So guys, after I locked everything up, I then locked up the front door, the screen door. I then unlocked the front gate and locked the front gate. It takes me about 2 minutes to do all that stuff, a really long time in an emergency. That's why I always kind of leave the side gate latched if I go anywhere, but not locked. So in the event of emergency, I could just get back on my property really quickly. So guys, I lock everything up, lock the front gate, and I start my run over to the recruiting office. So guys, it doesn't take me that long to get to the recruiting office or the recruiting center. And once I get there, I see all the staff sergeants that I usually talk to are there. The first place I stop by is obviously the Marine Corps recruiting office, because that's the one I wanted to join the most. So I'm sitting there talking to the staff sergeant and the other staff sergeant for about an hour. There's other people in there hanging out, doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, watching TV in the recruiting office. So after I talk to the Marine Corps staff sergeant for about an hour, I go over and I talk to the Army staff sergeant for about the same amount of time. I then go over to the Navy recruiting office and talk to that recruiting officer for about the same amount of time. And finally, it's getting pretty late. It's about, I really don't know how late it was, but the Navy recruiting officer had to go somewhere and he was locking up for the night and he wouldn't be back. So I went back to the Marine Corps office because the Army office was closed. They closed pretty early. So I went over to the Marine Corps recruiting office and I'm talking to the Marine Corps staff sergeant. Everyone's having a good time in there. We're all talking for a bit. And there was a movie playing, so I decided to watch the movie with the other guys who were watching the movie. There was a few other guys in there watching the movie. It was sort of like a military movie. So we're all sitting there watching it, and I noticed that it's getting pretty late. So I'm like, you know what? I could just stay for a few more minutes, finish out the movies with my friends here, talk to the staff sergeants a little more. And about 20 minutes later, it's about 10 o'clock, I think. I don't know how late it was, but it was pretty late and it was dark outside. And the Marine Corps staff sergeants were like, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. You guys got to go. We're locking up and stuff like that. So the Marine Corps staff sergeants lock up. Everyone gets in their cars and goes. And I'm still talking to one of the Marine Corps staff sergeants. And he's like, hey, do you want to ride? I'm like, no, staff sergeant, that's all right. I'm good. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, staff sergeant, it's all right. I don't live too far. I don't live too far. You recruited my brother. You know exactly where I live. I don't live far at all. And he's like, all right, man, then I'll see you around then. Yeah, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll be back, next Tuesday or when whatever I said. We said our goodbyes and stuff like that. And I started my jog home, threw on my earbuds, started my jog home. And when I'm jogging from the Marine Corps Recruiting Center or the recruiting center, I got to go straight, then make a right. So I go straight, and then I see the staff sergeant drive off in his car. And when I see him drive off, I got a little sick. I was like, something in my mind told me I should have accepted that ride. I should have accepted that ride, but I didn't. So I make a right, and my house isn't too far, like I said. And to make the right, it's like I got to cross a little bit of train tracks. Not much, just like literally the first and second rail. So I cross the train tracks. I cross like not even half a block. And then I gotta make another right. So I'm running straight like this, and I see a large group of people down there, about 4 or 5 guys. So I'm like, I should get to the other side of the street so I don't bump into any of these guys. So I run to the other side of the street, and they cross to the other side of the street too. So I'm like, this is a little fishy. I don't like the way these guys look. Because when they came into the light, like the street lights, you know how you could only see certain parts. Some parts are dark, some parts are light. When they moved into the light, I could tell that they were like gangsters, sort of like cholos. So I was like, you know what? I better move to the other side of the street because I have a feeling that something's about to go down. I got that really bad gut feeling that something really, really bad was about to happen. And so I go to the other side of the street, and they went to that side of the street too. So I'm like, okay, shit, these guys are going to try something. There's no doubt about it. There's no way they're just crossing when I cross. So they're really close now. They're about a block away, but like not a block. But you know how like on the side the blocks are a little smaller, like just the 2 house blocks kind of thing? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really small block. Like basically across the street almost. So I'm like, hey, I got to run down that street or else I'm going to meet up with these guys. So I run across the street, and I get on this street where they can't see me, and I start taking off as fast as I possibly can. And when I get to the end of the street, I turn around, and I notice that these guys are running after me. And they're pretty far back because I kind of like got the head start. So I run straight down straight, and then I make another right, and I'm sprinting as fast as I possibly can. And I get to the street where my house is, and my house isn't too far from the end of the block, so I'm kind of really, really close to home, only about 3 houses away. So I look down the street again, and I notice the guys come out from where I ran from, and they're sort of looking around, and one of them looks at me, and he points at me, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. So I start running as fast as I can. I open my neighbor's gate, which was open. I close it. I open this small little gate, open it, close it. And I run to my side gate where I just have the latch, right? So I unlatch the gate and I close it as quick as I can. I pop the lock on there. I go through the side door instead of the front door. And this literally takes me like 45 seconds to get in because I'm panicked. I'm scared right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they were chasing me or anything like that. So I lock up the door. I lock it. I turn off all the lights in the house because I leave them on when I go out, so somebody will think somebody's home, somebody tries to break in. So I leave the lights on and I turn off all the lights. And I look out the front blinds because I could see the street from there. So I'm looking out the front blinds and I see these dudes run past. And one stops right in front of my house. One stops right in front of my house. He doesn't look at me. He looks back to see where his friend is, I guess. And in his left hand, he had a knife. Now, I'm not sure what their intentions were. If it were just to scare me, to rob me, to kill me. I don't know what their intentions were. But they chased me with a knife. And it was probably one of the most scariest events in my life. My heart was pounding. I wasn't out of breath because probably that adrenaline that kicks in from that fight or flight response. Now, I didn't call the police, which looking back on it was very, very stupid. But I was 17 at the time. I was young and dumb. Very immature still at that age. I didn't call the police, but now that I look back on it, I should have, because they could have ran and hurt someone else. But thank God I don't think they did. I didn't hear any police sirens that night, so I assume they were just looking for me, the guy that they were chasing. And I'm really not sure what could have happened that night if I didn't unlock the side gate, because honestly, I was a little bit too lazy to do it, and I wasn't going to do it. And I did it, and it probably wind up saving my life. So if I didn't unlock that side gate that night, I probably wouldn't have been able to get into the house on time, because I would have had to unlock the front gate, then the screen door, then the regular door, and by that time those guys would have already been there and probably been on me, robbed me, killed me, whatever they were going to do. I'm not sure what they're going to do till this day, but I'm sure glad I ran as fast as I did. I'm sure glad I left that gate open. And I'm sure glad I left the exact minute I left that recruiting office. Anyways, guys, that's the time I was almost robbed with a knife. Now, obviously, I don't know if I was going to be robbed because I didn't stop to ask, like, hey, are you guys trying to rob me? It was a very scary experience. I'm not sure if they were going to rob me, kill me, but I knew whatever their intentions were, they were not good. Anyways, guys, that's the time I was almost robbed with a knife. If you guys have any experiences like that you want to share, leave them in the comments section down below. Anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to hear another story from my past, an event from my past, put that in the comment section down below, and I will make a video on it. Anyways, guys, hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. Anyways, guys, love each and every single one of you. Hope to see you right back here tomorrow. And remember, stay freaky.